This first one coming back is going to be ICA, anterior inferior cerebellar, so the little brain artery. So this first one that you see coming back is ICA. Now this thing looks a little bit like a wishbone, kind of like a turkey wishbone. That's going to be your vertebral arteries. Don't worry about the one in the middle. These are going to be your vertebral arteries. Coming up a little bit, here we're going to have our pica.
Is pica on our list?
Yep. Posterior, inferior,
Posterior.
cerebellar artery.
Oh, pica. Okay. Will pica be like okay?
Yes.
If we answer like that? No, I'm just wondering if that that would be really a lot easier for me to.
It was like I said, yeah, pica, ICA. Moving up, I believe you don't need to worry about this one. But this whole thing, this whole region between these two,
That's the basilar.
basilar.
And then the top part is not really on here.
This one right here, so this one's kind of swooping around. Before you get to so up here is going to be the actual circle of Willis. But one layer below, you have to look like that. This is going to be superior cerebellar. So it's going to be cover the top portion of the cerebellum.
And so the inferior is not on there.
Because that's covered by the pica and ICA. So you don't have you don't
Okay.
have an inferior in this. It's one of the few cases where you have a superior but no inferior, because it's taken care of by basically two inferiors.
Is the internal carotid on here?
Yes, exactly. So we'll get to that in 1 second.
Oh, sorry.
So we said we have the basilar coming up, giving up the superior cerebellar. Up a little more. Here we have our posterior communicating branches. And it's going to loop around, and here we have a posterior cerebral artery supplying the rest of the back portion of the brain. Going forward, then we have our internal carotid, and these two round guys, and they're not going forward, but they're actually coming up like this. They're coming up from coming right from a branch of the heart, and those are going to come up and it's going to supply the rest of the brain that way. Now going forward, we have our anterior communicating branches supplying this U. And this U is going to be our anterior cerebral artery, supplying this front portion of the brain. What about middle? It will supply this kind of second tier of the brain, but for our purposes, unlikely to be tagged because you can't see it. Did that cover it?
Yeah.